Hello, this is Uncle Jim. Today we're going to attempt to fix or improve these NOE powder through flare plugs. I think they call them powder through plugs, whatever. Anyway, they're made by NOE and they're designed to replace your Lee powder through flare die. And they have a step in here that kind of expands the brass so it's easier to set your bullet in there, and then your flare steps here. All right, and these are the powder through type to replace the Lee. So a friend sent me these. It's the first time I've ever seen them. I told him I'd give it a try, and if I fail, well, I'll be buying them new ones now, won't I? So the issue is in the smaller diameter calibers, 44 mags, okay, it goes straight through, but when you get to the smaller diameters, there's this flat shelf on here. These are designed to be on your powder through measure so you can throw a charge of powder while you're flaring. And so he says to go by this diameter. This is a spacer or plug here. He said to go by this, and if you look in here, it's got a very flat shelf, which wouldn't be good if your powder sticks on that shelf. Okay, so some of this needs to be chamfered. So we're going to attempt to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it for the average guy that doesn't have a lathe, just a guy in the garage. And for me, the best way is carbide cutters here. And you could use a chamfering bit. I can't find the right size. You could, if you're really desperate, maybe stones like these, but they're not the greatest for leaving a smooth finish. And so we have some carbide bit sets here of different shapes. We like to collect as many as we can from thrift stores, garage sales, rummage sales. Every time we find a new shape, boom, it goes in the collection. The weird thing about this is this size is a little bit off. It's not just right for anything, so I think I'm going to use this bit. I like using a ball end for self-centering, and the cone ends are too much, and I'm not sure why they did it this way. They're supposed to be tapered a little bit, but it's not enough. And I'm not an engineer, but I'm thinking they wanted to keep some meat here for strength. But what they could have done is back up to here and then put a nice funnel shape on it. Now you need that outside shoulder so your powder through has something to rest on when it's pushing up and down. But this could be funnel shape or ball shape, so nothing sits on the shoulder and you get a weird charge when you're throwing powder. So I think I'm going to go with this one. Problem with this is you have this inner piece here, so you can't just go and use like a big, I would prefer using a big ball bit just to make a nice chamfer, but you can't get it in there. So I'm going to have to go with this, and it's like the bare minimum. And we'll stick it in there, and it should self-center. And I like doing this by hand instead of like on a drill press, because you can feel that it's self-centered and you can turn it while you're spinning it on the drill. So we're going to use a hand drill, and this works out good. And then to take care of any, like say you have some mill marks, I like to put a little disc of sandpaper down in there so it covers the head of this, and you use like 600 grit or whatever, and you spin it, and that will polish it. Otherwise you can use a felt polishing tip, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just, you just want that powder to flow, okay? So we're going to attempt to do this today. And I do the same thing with like seating stems. If your seating stem leaves a ring around the edge of your bullet or something, all you got to do is hit it with an oversized carbide bit. Just give it a foof and maybe the sandpaper trick, and then your bullets will never be marred again. We've done videos on that. So this time we're going to, I guess this is the best one out of this collection here. And we'll see how it works. So I'll start with this longer one here. And so a friend of mine sent me these and he said, just go by this diameter. So we just want to eliminate that flat shoulder you see there and go from there. All right. All right, so we're going to use a cordless drill. I really like this die grinder. Maybe that'll be more comfy using the die grinder. These are awesome for using carbide bits or flap wheels and everything. That's a very handy tool. Most people are going to have a drill, so maybe I'll use that. I just want to see which is more comfy. Maybe this is more comfy. I don't know. Okay, decided to use the drill because I can go slower and take it easy. Now this is the bare minimum shape, so I might have to rock it a little bit, okay? Just to make it go out to the outer surface, but we'll see. I don't want to weaken the part, and I think that's why they did it this way. Again, they could have came up to here and put a nice bevel on it. All right, so this could be noisy. Maybe I'll cut the sound. All right, so I started off slow, but it's leaving a nice chamfer there. There's just a lot to go, so I can go a lot faster. Okay, that goes really quick. I want to show you before and after. This one on the left is chamfered, the one on the right is stock, and the one on the left isn't done yet, but you want to go slow and make sure we're almost there. All right, so the one on the left is stock, the one on the right is chamfered. I haven't used the sandpaper trick yet or polished it. I checked it with the Q-tip, there's no burr, and it's much better. Now, cone shape would be great, but there's no meat on these things, so you can't really do that and make a cone shape unless they backed it out. If they make a third generation, that's what I would do. All right. So this is just the carbide bit. Okay, one thing I noticed, at least with this plug, there's a little bit of play, a little slop, so you want to make sure to go all directions, make sure that chamfer's still there, you know, in case you run into a shoulder. And again, this doesn't have much meat, so you gotta just take the minimum off to get the cone. All right, or the chamfer. A cone would be nice, but no meat. Come up to here. Next time you make these and do a cone shape, and everyone's going to be happy. And you need that shoulder, of course, to operate your powder measure. Okay. All right, so no need for the sandpaper trick. This cut really nice, and there's no burrs, hardly any mill marks. Put light pressure on there when you're finishing it so you don't do that. And then I'm going to use this tip on the Dremel here, polishing tip. It's kind of like a rubberized. You can use whatever fits, but this fits perfect. And we'll just polish in there. It's not touching the sides, and that's going to be perfect. All right, so we'll just put a little compound on there, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so I hit it with the non-chlorinated brake cleaner to degrease and take all the stuff out of them. Took a brush and a Q-tip, cleaned them real good so they're ready to go for a powder throw. And that's what they look like now. And again, there's not much meat on here, so I'd prefer to use a cone shape and really funnel that down, but there's not much meat, so hopefully they can redesign that. So here's the plug thingy we're going by, and we are on super close up here, and you want to make sure you can move it up and down, fore and aft, so you don't miss the bevel. Make sure that bevel's just big enough, but again, you can't take too much off, so you got to be careful about that. But it looks good. I think the powder will flow. As a matter of fact, there's more mill marks in the tube than there is what I did. Okay. Hope you found this interesting. Until next time, if there's something wrong, you can always go in the garage and make it right. He shoots and he scores. Like a glove.